and you either take the money on the front end or you take the bath on the back end.
Right.
Make up your mind right now.
Welcome to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
I'd love to kind of get your thoughts. How, I think it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
That we just don't embrace the communication enough. It's just like, once it's done, it's done. The paperwork, because we're so used to all right, the deal's done.
Yeah.
It's smashing bugs and burning gas.
And I'm off to the next customer.
You got it.
Right away. So even when the deal is done, you're nurturing that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
All those folks in your CRM, you have to nurture that relationship. And hey, you want them to trade that car in 3 years or 2 years.
Granted, they can.
Granted, they can. So,
I know. Sometimes I go squirrel. I mean, I just look. There are things that scare me a little bit right now. We're getting full pop on new cars, plus in some cases. All right, you got used car values that are 50% higher than historic rates ever.
Yeah.
And these customers are going to come back in a few years. I'm concerned how many of these deals we're going to be able to get bought. I know I go squirrel, but I'd love to get your thoughts on that because you were a dealer. What do you think about that, man?
Well, there's going to be a problem, and you either take the money on the front end or you take the bath on the back end.
Right.
Make up your mind right now. And I think dealers, there was a survey, again, the keynote that Brian Pash had when I was in that keynote session, where he was saying about how many people are selling vehicles over MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was about 30 to 40%. And the point was, look, if you want this customer, you really don't want this customer to bring the car back to your dealership. So now, yeah, right. So you want the service, you want all that, but you probably don't want them to bring it back in 2 or 3 years and trade it in because you're not going to be able to give them the number that they want. They're upside down. They're not even going to be able to get finance probably.
Well, that's the other thing,
That's
too.
the other thing. And you can only
package subvented rates are almost gone.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I'm looking at the gap between non-prime and prime is narrowing down so close.
Right.
And I don't necessarily know what the answer is, but I love kind of getting people's thoughts on that.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy with Jason podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to check out the full podcast library at strategywithjason.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.